finally registered their first league win of 2023 following a 2-0 win against Everton in the Merseyside derby on Monday. Goals from Mohamed Salah, his first of the year, and his first for the club, cemented the victory and took up to 9th place in the. It was a good performance by, and it gives something to build on ahead of the crunch game against Newcastle at the weekend. May finally have found an ideal Gini Wijnaldum replacement for Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz began Julian Ward transfer trend that should now complete. Moreover, it was another massive performance from the man of the moment, Stefan Bajcetic, who was brilliant for the Reds. He is going to be needed a lot more over the coming weeks. Here, we take a look at the news doing the rounds on February 14, starting with a look at the wrongdoing at the Champions League final in Paris last May. There is also an update on injury and some interesting thoughts from Jamie Carragher on the future position of after the ex-PSV man scored his first goal for the Reds. Champions League final. UEFA's own of the horrendous conditions at the 2022 Champions League final in Paris has stated that European football's governing body is the culpable party in the chaos of the day. UEFA had commissioned an independent report into what had happened that day in the French capital, and has said that UEFA bears primary responsibility for the near-catastrophic events that unfolded in and around the Stade de France. Fans, who had been initially blamed by UEFA and the French police in a bid to cover their own failings, have been vindicated as to having no blame for the events of Saturday, May 28. The panel has concluded that UEFA, as event owner, bears primary responsibility for failures which almost led to disaster, the report states. .com says, it is one thing to write down the failings, but another to make sure that something similar does not happen again. Carragher highlights potential Firmino heir has struggled during his formative games but his goal against Everton will no doubt do his confidence plenty of good. That much was noticeable on the night as he gained an extra spring in his step. The Dutchman has been utilised on the left of a front three at times but played down the centre against Everton and has done in the main for the Reds so far. That is the position that Jamie Carragher believes has the best future in. I think it's interesting in the role of Darwin Núñez, and because Núñez has been brought as a centre forward and has played most of his games on the left side of a front three, but when you actually think of how have played with that famous front three for so many years, said Carragher on Sky Sports, via the It's been Roberto Firmino dropping in and the wide players have had the penetration and the pace. I just think actually watching, it feels like his profile is more similar to Firmino than the other wide players who have blistering pace to run in behind. He added, could it actually be what we've seen tonight where Núñez finds himself on the left a lot more and actually plays in that hole? His main strength, when I've watched him in these first few weeks, is actually with the ball. When the ball comes into his feet, you don't feel like he's going to lose it. Com says, it certainly looks like is being primed to play the central role. He has almost exclusively played in the middle so far, rather than out on the left, and it worked really nicely with Darwin Núñez on the left. The question is what happens when Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz are also fit. Confirms massive midfield blow. Boss has confirmed that influential midfielder Alcantara is out for a while through injury. Has been out of action since pulling up in training with a hip flexor problem. The silky Spaniard subsequently missed the Merseyside derby win against Everton, and Klopp has confirmed that will be out for around 4 weeks or more. Obviously the situation is not cool for us, he will be out for a while with a hip problem, Klopp explained via the "So we had to make one decision at least and so we made two." .com says, found a midfield that worked against Everton but being without, especially against Real Madrid, is a massive blow. Hopefully he can return in time for the second leg. Avoided $32 million transfer mistake with Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho replacement has found its own Saka or Rashford as latest wonderkid emerges too.